Welcome into episode 98 of McCready and Siskey, powered by Rain Total Body Fuel. I'm Neal McCready. That is Tyler Siskey.
You know what today is, Neal?
What is today?
Make it rain! Thursday.
I'm making sure that your mic is working. It seems to be. Okay. I think
I can hear myself loud and clear.
Okay. You're working.
Like loud. It's all good.
Appreciate everybody in the stream being with us. Thanks to everybody's third episode of the week. It's the first time we've ever done 3 episodes in a week.
Technically.
Three standard episodes in a week. We did several.
3
in Las Vegas.
sober shows in a row.
Yeah, that's the best way of putting it. It's the first time we've done 3 sober shows consecutively.
Yes, for sure. I love those 9 a.m. not sober shows.
Vegas was fun.
It was fun.
Vegas was interesting. I'm not sure that Cole would say that he had as much fun as we did, but
Cole's had to be the sober guy. Did we even let him have fun one night?
Yeah,
we did
a couple times.
A couple times.
Yeah, for sure. We're brought to you by Rain Total Body Fuel, 300 milligrams natural caffeine, BCAAs, electrolytes, 0 sugar. It's got what you need to push the limits and achieve your goals. Check them out on Instagram at Rain Body Fuel to learn more. Our mutual friend and South Alabama football coach Kane Womack will join. I know in the YouTube stream it auto-corrected to Kade, and I can't fix it, but it's Kane, and we know that.
Oh, Kade.
As much as we all harass each other, he'll probably think it's just us trolling. But Kane will, in this case, it's not. But Kane will join us. So
I was trying to type Kane in something the other day, and it kept auto-correcting to. It was Kane. I was typing Kane, and it kept typing rain in my phone.
Yeah, there's probably a lot of things in your phone that get corrected to rain. As much as rain as you drink.
Allegedly.
Yeah. A lot going on. We'll get to our Make It Rain Thursday. We're going to make our picks for week 0. We'll start our competition for real next week. So the picks this week are this is like NFL preseason.
Hey, this is preseason game number 4 for us. We'll go, get loose, get the picks right, get them honed in, ready to go. But I got some picks I like.
Okay.
For whatever that's worth.
All right, I've not studied as much this week as you probably have. So I'll have to really get after it next week.
All right, let's crank this up.
Yep. We're going to start with something that kind of pisses me off a little bit.
I like it. It's Make It Rain freaking Thursday, and I'm not. We're going to get Rage Neal freaking minute 1.
So a couple of weeks ago, I think I can say this now. I was going to be subpoenaed in a court case involving the NCAA. And at first, I was like, "Oh,
Are
man.
you shitting me?
No, I'm totally serious."
Did they ask about me?
No.
Okay. Because that would have been, if you got subpoenaed and I was involved, we was going to have a conversation.
No. It didn't involve you at all. Long story short, before the NCAA ruling came down on Ole Miss, the 2-year bowl ban and all that stuff, I knew what was coming. It had leaked. And I wrote about it in a column.
Yep.
Basically what was coming. And that column, I was going to be subpoenaed to talk about that column. And of course, I was not going to say who my sources were or any of that nature. But it was, I think, going to some way prove that the NCAA, which always claims to follow the book and do things in a very, by the code, if you will, that they don't skate any, they don't ever cut any corners. Everything's by the book. Everything's straight as an arrow. It probably was probably not going to come to fruition. It was going to be obvious that no, you're filthy.
So they were wanting to subpoena you so you would snitch and tell them who your source was?
Well, no. I mean, I'm sure they were going to ask me who my source was. I think they knew going in that I wasn't going to reveal who my source was, and I have reporter shield in that regard.
Can you comment on what case it was?
Yeah, it was the Ole Miss NCAA case.
No, I'm talking about
Rebel Rags.
Oh, okay. I got you.
And yeah. Yeah.
Go ahead, Neal.
Yeah, I figured. Yeah. Jeez. But here's the good news. On that end, I don't know. Like on one end of that story, I don't know. And that wasn't the point. The point I was going to get asked about was the column that I wrote.
Okay.
How did you know these penalties were coming down? Well, because I was told.
Yeah.
And people can go, well, you just made up the sources. So I just guessed and got it right. Doesn't work like that. I mean, obviously I knew. We knew. My colleague at rebelgrove.com, Chase Parham, and I both knew. I was dumb enough to write about it. So, but at first I was like, man, come on. I mean, I knew I was going to get subpoenaed. As a part of me was like, don't subpoena me. I don't want to be part of this. And then after a while, I was like, you know what? I kind of do.
I wish they'd subpoenaed my ass.
Yeah. I kind of wanted to be on the stage and just say, yeah, because this is the NCAA. And this Mason Smith thing is an example of why people hate the NCAA.
Okay.
There's a lack of common sense. There's a lack of perspective. You've known me for a while. I'm big on put things in perspective, right? Did he do anything wrong? Okay, yeah, he signed some autographs before NIL allows you to sign some autographs.
Did in the weeks preceding the actual, like
Yeah.
this wasn't decades
Right.
before this. We're talking about weeks before the ruling.
Did Mason Smith signing some autographs for probably what was a modicum of money? Did that impact
Probably a couple grand?
Did that impact anything? Did it impact anything? The answer is no. It impacted nothing. There are only a handful of players whose autographs have any real tangible value, right? I mean, there are players on, let's pick a school. Iowa, since people seem to be going at me about Iowa today. How many players on the Iowa roster could sign something, and by signing it, that really changes the value of the product? 5, 6, 7 players.
It's the value, the people who find value in it. It's usually like the local shop or whatever fan shop.
Yeah. So the point is that Mason Smith, by signing some paraphernalia, I'm sure he signed some LSU footballs or somebody's cap, or probably a lot of footballs. When you guess the footballs that have the white panel, he probably signed
a bunch of those.
Probably signed a bunch of those, and he got compensated to some degree. It wasn't life-changing money. It wasn't money that gave him some sort of an advantage over the rest of anybody. It did nothing. It was not a recruiting inducement. He was already there. It was dumb. But yet we're going to suspend him for a game. We're going to suspend him for a game because that's going to really show everybody that you still have some teeth, or that, hey, you did it 2 weeks before, 2 months or whatever before we passed NIL legislation. So we're going to show you that we can still flex our muscles, man. And when we do, if we flex really, really hard, you might see just the tiny bit of a bicep. But we want you to, by God, see it. That's them. It's tone deaf.
What frustrates me about the NCAA is the way they handle the cases, as far as like, this is not, people think it's the NCAA committee, they do this. No, they give like case officers the projects, and they it's like a bunch of individuals making decisions instead of a group. And we got to have common sense here. So first of all, where I am pissed about this deal is, first of all, the kid could have been suspended just like Butte. He could have been suspended last year for the game.
Right.
But they decided that wasn't good enough
because he was hurt.
He was hurt.
Right.
Like, that's not enough of a punishment.
No, you got to make sure he misses a game.
Got to miss an extra game on top of the 13 or 14 or however many they played. So he's got to miss one more. Okay? I think that's bullshit. The second one is that, hell, I wouldn't suspend him a game. They should give him, you know what they should do? They should come out and award him, if he would like it, an extra year of eligibility. Because he's one of the few players that I've ever heard of actually getting paid money for actual name, image, and likeness. He was actually getting paid what you were supposed, again, a week or two early, but it went, I think.
But this is what it was supposed to be. It was supposed to.
Point.
It was supposed to be NIL.
How many players do you honestly?
I hate calling it NIL.
How many players do you actually think are getting paid for actual NIL, name, image, and likeness?
So few.
So he actually did something to get paid for name, image, and likeness. But we're going to suspend the guy for one game, 2 years. We're just a little bit over 2 years from the actual action. That's the other thing. The time that this stuff takes is ridiculous.
This was complete. They could have not done anything. Nobody would have known the difference, and he could have played the game.
It's stupid.
It's beyond stupid. It's tone deaf.
It really is.
Tone deaf is the word that you're looking for. It shows a complete inability to understand the way that the general public views them.
It's just when whoever the case officer was for that one, I mean, that's just when they do, it's not that, and that's the thing I want the fans to know. This isn't, they should do it like this. It should be a committee to, hey, this is what I found. And the committee would be, somebody would be hand raised guys. They would have common sense, but they don't do it like that. Neal, you got this case right here. And then Neal, you come up with a punishment. So you're the investigator, you're the jury, and you're the executioner. It doesn't go to a panel. It doesn't do that.
Yeah. I mean, I'm kind of with Mach 10 Sports here in the chat.
Dave.
Where LSU ought to say, you know what? Okay, 1 game suspension. Fine. He won't play against Grambling next week.
That's what I do. I wish I'd roll him out there.
Roll him out there and go, we're playing him.
I wish.
And then flex your muscles and go do something. Let's see what you do, big boy. Let's see what happens. Tell the SEC you're doing it. The SEC is going to say, I really wish you wouldn't. Well, we're doing it anyway. So fight for us.
I bet you the SEC wouldn't push back too hard because that first game was against Florida State.
Well, now you're punishing the entire program.
Yeah, punishing
over a kid who
signed some autographs. It's ridiculous. So I don't know. I hate it for the kid. I hate it for the program. I hate it for their fans. I hate it. I mean, that's a big game. And if there's any game in college football that has national title implications in week 1, that's it. That's it.
In week 1,
yeah. That's it.
Yeah.
So we're going to punish their second best defense player probably, but we're going to punish their team because he actually did name, image, and likeness. Hell, they should go back and say, hey, we're going to award you another year because if you actually did what the actual rule was designed to do.
Or in all seriousness, just because you know what, we're going to suspend you 1 game retroactive to last year. You were suspended from one of those games. Screw it. Or do nothing.
But then here, the other thing that pisses me off? This does piss me off. Where are all the people that freaking whine, bitch, and complain all day about betterment for the players? Where are all of you right now? This is the moment that's betterment for the player. Where are all of you people? I'm curious because it's been crickets. I don't hear you. Where are all of you national talking heads putting pressure on everybody in social media and using your platform? This is where it should be used right here. This is the actual area. Is he here yet? Oh, he listened to me chirp. There he is.
Okay, the man. I don't know why it's doing that with my camera here. Wait,
what's up? Right, can you hear me?
I can't hear him. Can you hear him?
Yeah, I can hear him. You can't. Yeah. And I don't know what's up with your microphone.
That's all right. Just leave your headphones where I can hear him.
Okay.
So I'm going to give him a proper introduction. Okay. This right here is the head football coach of the South Alabama Jaguars. And not only is he the head football coach, he is the greatest fullback to ever line up in the history of the Arkansas Razorback football. This right here is Kane, the ISO Dominator Womack. How we doing, brother?
I'm doing great. Can you hear me?
I can hear you through. I got some kind of headphone
issue. You got me now.
Through Neal's.
That's the biggest lie I have heard in a while.
You like that, huh?
No, you've probably pissed off some of my old teammates.
Yeah, they
now,
probably.
And now the worst part is they'll have to publicly clear their names. And the word. Hopefully they don't show any scout team clips or anything.
I hear you. All right, I know we got you for about 10 minutes. First of all, appreciate the hell out of you joining us.
This is great.
You have nothing else better to do today besides being a head football coach, so appreciate the hell out of you on that. No. All right, so here we go. You are infamously, I can't speak today. I've already had rain. It's over. You like to, and for the fans that haven't listened to you on our show, last time on our show, you were talking about what you do. I think it's awesome. For all visiting coaches, you buy them pizza and beer the night before the game. And we had a couple that denied it. But the key question is Tulane participating in pizza and beer night for the coaches? Or have they reached out and said they're going to handle pizza and beer for you guys when you go over to New Orleans next week?
Yeah, I haven't heard anything. I don't know if that's something that they do. Obviously. The city of New Orleans is not hurting for beer or probably pizza for that matter, but I don't think that's something that they maybe do. I don't know. We'll see. Willie's a pretty good dude. He's a great guy, but I don't know if that's his cup of tea.
All right, so. Me and Neal I don't remember if this was on camera or not. Sometimes I forget we're on camera when we're talking, so I don't remember if we talked about this on
Which
the podcast.
Which is never a great thing, by the way. It's always good to have camera and mic awareness.
Yeah, so that's bad.
Y'all talk about like in football terms, you want your eyes in the right place. You want field awareness. In this deal, you want microphone and camera awareness. You want to know when it's on and when it's not.
So
situational awareness is critical.
It is. I just was like I was in the throw it deep club, so I didn't care if it was 3rd and 10 or 3rd and 1, All right, so we were talking about how just stupid. I was telling him from a coach's standpoint, which I can say now. I don't know if you can say this or not, but My least favorite day in coaching of the entire year is the Saturday before the first game in the mock game practice. Okay.
Yeah.
I think it's the worst day in the history of college coaching. So, is the mock game this Saturday, are you looking forward to it? Is it your favorite day?
Well, and I say this as a friend, right? For every single Tyler Siskey, there is an obsessed, compulsive Kane Womack out there. You know what I mean? That loves the mock game.
You do not.
I
You
do.
love it?
I love it. I love every little situational piece that I get to fit into our team right before game week. I am a obsessed, crazed mock game fanatic.
Well, it would always piss me off.
Well, you can't lose the mock game.
Oh, but you can.
You can't lose.
You
know what I
can,
mean?
though.
So we're talking.
Yes, you can, because it never fails. The scout team goes out there and they never get it right. They don't get lined up. And he's saying this because he's a head coach now. See, I never was a head coach. I was an assistant. So you're always getting your ass ripped because they bust a play or something. You're scripting versus quarters. They're playing cover 3 or man free. The play dies, and you're like, how are we going to score any points if we can't score against the scout team? So
yeah, I mean, it's literally, for a head coach, it's one of our favorite days of the year. We can script everything on the front end, so we're not going to make any mistakes. And then everybody else is running like chickens with their heads cut off. So no, and in all honesty, though, here's who it is the worst day of the season for is the special teams coordinator. The special teams coordinator. It's the worst day of the year for every single one of them. Yep. I told him this morning, I was like, it's your Super Bowl, Trey. Trey Williams is our special teams coordinator. And so, like, the problem is.
Are you doing 2 sidelines?
Oh, we're doing 2 sidelines. Oh. Right? So what happens is you have your travel squad, right, that you're trying to get all the game day operation stuff on your sideline. But then you need an opponent, right? So you have your scout look. But sometimes on offense and defense, right, those guys go to scout team. But on special teams, some of your scout team guys are also special team starters. And then some of the guys that are on your, defense may be like going back and forth field to field, right? And so, like, you're trying to get them all lined up. But my God, it's a rough one for them, when it comes to that. So.
Hey, can we have a special McCready Siskey set up in the Can I suggest something if we can get it put in the scrimmage for Saturday, just for the podcast?
What?
All right. So on the special teams, can you, like, on purpose put somebody in the game and create double numbers to see how the special team coordinator reacts?
That's a good one.
Let's do that. What? Can we do that? And then just rip his ass, just lose your shit?
I could do, okay. I might do that. Now we do the, like, hey, this guy's like, we pull the center out, you know what I mean? Yeah. We do the, hey, did we catch that there was only 10 on our field goal unit? And so let's not call timeout in that situation. Let's take the penalty 5 yards, right? Because it's an extra point, right? What's another 5, and things like that. But I could get that. I do got to tell on Trey the other day, our players are very locked into numbers, way more than we are, right, as coaches. Yeah. And so Trey puts out like our I think it was like our onside kick unit or something like that.
And hands and onside is what gets you. Yeah.
He's got like 3 double numbers on the unit, and the players just roasted him. They're like, you got 2 number 8s, you got 2 zeros, you got 2 this, He's like, well, fellas, I'll just let you know what the chart's going to look like when we get out for special teams walkthrough. So.
All right, I'll ask you one serious football question since we got the head coach on here. I know we like to cut up so much. When, in your opinion, and this is actually a serious question, when, in your opinion, is it too early to game one before you start game prep when your players? What's too early? What's too late? What do you like? Because some guys are 2 weeks, some guys are 10 days, some guys are 7 days. Like, what's your mode?
No, I think it's a great question, and you're always trying to, like, figure out that sweet spot. I'm not sure the answer is the same every year for every team, right? Like, some teams need more time figuring out their in-season model. Like today was the first day that we actually had kind of an in-season practice, what we call practice face, right? So, Cisco obviously knows, like, it's the schedule of, we're going to go to this drill, inside run, and then this drill with scouts and skelly and punt and so on and so forth. And today was kind of the first model of that. We've done a couple things with Tulane. And so what I like to do is we come out of the second scrimmage. We're 2 weeks on Saturday, 2 Saturdays before the first game. All right. Then we set our scout teams. We do limited scout team work on the front end of the week. So like just a little bit at a time. You know what I mean? We may hit a first and second down period. Then we're going to do a third down period the next day. Then we're going to do a red zone period, whatever it may be. And then today is pretty much an in-season like Tuesday practice. We may not do like all the exact same situations. We may like get ahead a little bit, that we would on a normal Tuesday. But I do think like more teams try to do too much game plan and they wear their guys down by the time you get to game week. The guys are like, Coach, how many times can I rep this play for the same opponent? Like I would have rather just gone against our defense or our offense, you know what I mean? Like fall camp. So I think we probably err on the side of not doing too much too early.
Yeah. That's kind of the mode I'm in. I was a big speed of the game guy. Like I think if you break up scout too early, you lose that speed of the game that you had early in camp. And then you'll get used to it as the season goes on because you're playing games. But the speed of the game with good on good is always a big thing.
I agree.
All right. I got one more for you, and I'm going to let you get out of here because I know you actually have like a real job that you got to do. All right.
I do have a special teams meeting in a little bit, and we got to figure some number situations out. So,
yeah, dude, you got to sneak that in there for me. You can blame me; they'll get pissed at me. Just blame me. Just like sneak it in there. This is Cisco special.
Real quick. I hate to interrupt this love fest here, but when are you going to admit, Kane, that you're pissed off at Tyler? I mean, he's already given bulletin board material to an opponent. He's already put a lot of unnecessary hype and expectations on your team, and I know you're being nice because you're a great guy, but he's not, and I know you're pissed at him, so let him have it right here for the audience.
Well, to be clear, my demeanor on this conversation is a facade. You know what I mean? I'm fuming behind these smiling.
That's what I figured.
Behind these kind eyes is a very angry person. I feel like I vented to him well enough through text message. As all healthy relationships, right?
You tell what it was though? Do you know why I did that, right? It was because
I have no earthly idea why you did that.
It was for the 4 years that he used my Hulu login. He was stealing my Hulu login for 4 years. Guys making like $6 million a year and stealing my Hulu login. Can you believe that? I mean, unbelievable.
I mean, you just go give all sorts of bulletin board material to the other teams out there.
I had to get it back some way. All right, here we go. This is going to be a good one that we're going to let you.
You want me to give your password out or?
Yeah, go. What was it?
It was like nipple piercings 1, 2, 3 or something like that. I don't remember.
That's good.
Yeah, he was like, yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
Right.
Pretty close, wasn't I? Yeah.
Wasn't far off.
All right, here we go. So this is a good one for you. This is what we're calling the Jaguar hypothetical. Okay. So we were in the office this morning. This is Clay Carter's fault. So if you want to get mad at Clay, you can get mad at Clay. Right. So we were talking about the Swamp King, the Netflix show this morning.
Yeah.
And we're talking about, he makes the thing, they keep talking about, if you want to win, how bad do you want to win? So it said, I told him, it's a Netflix thing. You're not watching TV right now. I'll give you my login. You can watch it later. All right. So all right. If we put you on the 30-yard line, okay? We're going to put you on the 30-yard line. You, Kane Womack, by yourself in the football field. On the other end zone, we're going to line up a Jaguar, a live Jaguar. All right? We're going to put a stake on your back. And if I told you that you had to run into the end zone 30 yards, if you had to beat the Jaguar before he got a hold of you. But the football gods came down and said, Kane, if you get in the end zone, you will go undefeated, guaranteed right now, undefeated, and be in the college football playoff. Or if you don't make it, the Jaguar eats your ass. All right, which would you do it?
I mean, to be honest, like I need any more incentive to get my ass to that end zone, you know what I mean, than just staying alive. Right? Yeah. Like I need to go.
The whole winning a championship. He's not even thinking about that anymore. It's a Jaguar.
Worry about that. I'm just trying to survive this Jaguar.
Would you do it? Would you do it if you could go undefeated and go? And
No.
go? Yes, I would. In a heartbeat. Wouldn't even think about it.
Okay. All right. Let's look at this logistically, right? Because these are conversations that head coaches should be dealing with, right?
Yes, absolutely. Right in the middle, right before special teams meetings.
So, you got to think you said I'm on the opposite 30-yard line?
Yes, you got a 70-yard head start.
I got a 70-yard head start. Okay. I'm going to be nice and call it a 5.3 40, right? So you tack off a little bit of that, right? Let's say I don't slip in the get off, and so now we're looking at a 4.9 30 yard sprint. You know what I mean? 4.9 seconds.
Jaguars run 50 miles an hour.
On average, they're 50 miles an hour.
Yeah.
I'm making that. I think I'm making that.
I told you, man. I knew he'd do it. 100%.
Yeah, let's do it.
I'm concerned for Kane's health at this point.
Oh,
because, no, I mean 50 miles per hour.
Well, you got a 70-yard head start.
50 miles per hour.
This is to go to the playoffs. This is undefeated.
No, I'm telling you, you put that stake on my back at the 45, and I'm not taking that deal. But
30-yard line.
The 30-yard line, I think I got it.
I'm gonna have to do some math.
Do some math. Actually, do some math and see if I'm right in that. But there's got to be logistically, there's got to be something there.
I think he makes it. I think he would do it too. If I guaranteed him the college football playoff spot, he'd do it, 100%.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, I get the motivation. I can't even get a helmet. I keep trying to get a helmet. I got an Army helmet.
You have an Army helmet. Okay.
Got Army. But I mean, you don't even know the coach at Army.
I
know the coach at South Alabama. I thought we were like really good friends and stuff. We talked and kept up over the years.
Look what's behind my back.
I already saw it. I actually peeked it out of the side.
Yeah.
I saw it.
Willie sent us a helmet.
God, Willie's such a nice guy.
He is a nice guy. He sent us a helmet, signed it, and everything. Just a thought. I don't know.
I tell you what,
you got special teams meetings.
$50 to our NIL collective, and you'll have a helmet right there for you. So,
I love it. Hey, please,
I'll buy some Lululemon from the store in Mobile too.
Hey, please send video of the double number on Saturday. Can you send that to me?
If I can make it happen, and all the other things that
you have nothing else. You have nothing else to do but just sit there and watch and yell.
I mean, I have scripted the whole thing, so I do know what's coming next.
We'll forgive you. We'll forgive you.
All right.
All right, brother. Appreciate the hell out of you, man, as always.
See you, bud.
Good times, boys. See you.
I'm going to get can you pipe me back down a little bit? I'm just sitting here yelling at myself. Dude, he's like literally one of my favorite people on the planet.
I need to do the math on this Jaguar thing, though. I'm concerned that you guys are underestimating how fast 50 miles per hour is on a football field.
Yeah, probably.
If someone goes 50 miles an hour, how quickly do they go 100 yards?
Well, it's 300 feet. There's 5,260 feet in a mile.
I'm going to try to do this now, figure it out. I'm dying to know at this point.
It's like one of those things that you have no reason to know why you're doing, but you're figuring it out. Larry Joe says 50 miles an hour from the chat is like 24 yards a second.
Yeah, you're dead.
No, that's right at it. That's right at it. 30 yards. If you could get it 4 seconds, dude, that's on it. I mean, he'll be on your ass, but I think you can make it.
Okay.
I'd do it for a chance to go to the college football playoff.
As opposed to dying?
I'd kick that Jaguar's ass. Stab it in the eye.
Well, it's not what you didn't put that in there. You didn't imply that you might be armed. I mean, just think
anyway. All right. Let's get off.
I mean, you didn't mention anything about being armed.
This episode was brought to you by PETA.
Check out lanceslock.com. Baseball's in the home stretch. Preseason has started. College football almost here. We're getting ready to talk about it. If you need help handicapping games, lanceslock.com is the best value. Has consistently won for 9 straight documented years. Right now is the best price of the year. It's lanceslock.com.
Talbot Buys in the chat says, I have a player in mind for the $50 NIL donation.
Yeah, I know. I bet he does.
I bet you do.
I bet he does.
I bet you do. All right.
I'll tell you what, Talbot, if I send the $50 to get the helmet, I will dedicate the money to your brother.
Yeah, that'd be good.
That's for sure.
I'll pay the $50. I'll do it.
There you go.
There it is. Done. I just need to call Kane or to send it. Do I Venmo it? I don't know. He's got to. They can see what how to get to the collective. I'll be a collective donor. I got to send some stuff out. I got to get my boy at Summerall too, at the Trojans.
Do you see, by the way, Kevin Hart? Was it Kevin Hart? Raced Stephon Ridley. Have you seen this? All seriousness.
No.
Stephon Ridley, the former LSU running back, played in the NFL for a while, mostly with the Patriots, I believe.
I have no idea.
He and Kevin Hart are buddies, and Kevin Hart challenged him to a 40-yard dash.
Why?
Because Kevin Hart's fast, and he thought he was fast enough to beat.
Let me guess. He didn't beat him.
Not only did he not beat him, he tore abdominal muscles and his hip abductors and is currently in a wheelchair. He can't walk. That's why when you were like, hey, let's do this deal where we do an NFL. No, we're going to get hurt. I don't want to get hurt.
Yeah, that would not work out good. All right. Before we get to Mega Rain, got a couple things here.
Yeah, what happens if we become USA boosters? Are we in trouble at that point? Not really. I don't care. I can be a South Alabama booster.
I've dodged this long. I mean, I'm the Trump of the NCAA.
Someone's going, hey, Neal, why's your name on the South Alabama Booster Club thing? Oh, really? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll have trust and LLCs and Bitcoin. We'll have all kinds. We'll get it figured out. All right. Let's talk a little bit about. You had actually sent this to me, and it's become a pretty big deal in the NFL.
Yeah, I was on top of this.
You were on top of this. The Chris Jones holdout. All right, so let's give everybody a little background of what's going on here. So Chris Jones he's 29 years old. He's on the last year of his deal with Kansas City. He is scheduled to be an unrestricted free agent next season at the age of 30. He's scheduled to make $20 million this year. Okay, so he wants a new deal. Well, yesterday he came out and he's been posting a bunch of stuff on social media. Some guy asked him, when is he going to come back? He said week 8, which means that's basically the last week in the NFL. You have to play in so many games to accrue a year of service. And that's the last week with them because I think they're off on week 9. It's the last week in the NFL that he can actually join the team and accrue a year of service in the NFL. You keep looking back here. Is there a ghost back here?
No, there's no ghost. It's the Mac South diggers are digging in the back there. You see them?
Oh, they're fisting turn our shit off.
There's no telling. So if we go away, it's not our fault. I can tell you whose fault
they're
it
gonna
is.
Hit something. I hope they probably don't hit my truck out there. All right.
This segment will never be brought to you by Mac South. Ever.
I love it. All right. All right. So,
never. There's a better chance of me racing a Jaguar.
Is there a better chance of this episode being brought to you by Mac South or you getting in a pit of snakes?
I'm not doing that. No.
I found something. Mac South, huh?
Yeah. There you go.
That's it.
Sponsored by Mac South. That's my punishment.
Yeah, there you go.
I have to wear Mac South gear for a week.
All right. We're off the rails. It's a Mega Rain Thursday. All right. So he makes the comment that he's going to come back week 8. He's got everybody pissed off. They're not even talking right now. He's holding out. They're not even talking. They asked Andy Reid about it in a press conference. He's basically trying to stay out of it, saying they haven't talked. And then the old trade rumors come up.
Yeah. With a degree of specificity here in the last couple of days.
And so my question to you is, do you have your Bears thong on right now? Or you think that this is just...
So what's the price for the Bears? That's the question.
Well, here's the thing, right? Is regardless if you're able to trade for the guy.
Yeah.
All right. First of all, in my opinion, which will buy you a cup of coffee, he is the probably second most dominant defensive lineman in the NFL. He's interior.
He is the reason that our Cincinnati Bengals did not play for the Super Bowl last year.
Aaron Donald's the only one I would say I would take before Chris Jones.
More than fair.
As an interior defensive lineman.
More than fair. It's
okay.
Fine. Sure. There are days that he's the best defensive tackle in the game.
Yeah, he's good, dude.
Yeah. So the question for the Bears would be, what is the price? And then what
you have to restructure the deal, right?
And then what chance would I have to restructure his deal?
Well, you would have no choice. Whatever you do. Now, the problem is if you trade him without restructuring a deal and then wait till he gets there, now you're over a barrel. But Look, he wants a new deal. He's like the 9th highest paid defensive lineman in the league this year. And it's just because of deals get reworked. And
Yeah.
he doesn't want to go in, and I don't blame the kid. All right. So,
Well, no, it's in a league that
This is his
stands for
last
not
one.
a league that stands for not for long. I
Yeah.
don't. When you have leverage, you should absolutely exercise it.
he's 29. This is it.
Yeah.
This is going to be his big contract. This is going to get him through his career. He's in the prime of his life. If he was to play this year on that last year and get hurt and then
Right.
decrease his value, you can't ever make that back up.
No. It's nobody. Probably nobody even in the Chiefs organization really blames him.
Yeah,
They're probably a little
they're
irritated with
pissed.
him. Yeah.
The fans are more pissed than anybody because they're like, "Why can't you play on $20 million a year?" But you got to understand, it's not going to be just 20. This is a $100 million decision for him, if not more.
Of course.
All right, so I don't know, man. I mean, I would give whatever you need to get him. I mean, I would take him. I mean, he's in the prime of his career. He's the second best interior defensive lineman in the league, and
So
he's probably going to be the best because Aaron Donald's. It's getting time for him to get ready to shut it down.
So do you buy the Bears' supposed justification for paying a heavy price, which is the NFC has never been more, for lack of a better word, gettable?
Oh, I agree with that.
So here's the question. I know your answer on this, but a lot of our probably viewers and listeners are new because we've changed platforms. So the Bears have a decision to make as it pertains to
Quarterback.
trading draft capital for an impact player. Because there's no question that Chris Jones is an impact player. Chris Jones takes the Bears defense, which is already starting to get pretty good, and takes it up a level.
Yeah.
No question.
He takes any defense up.
Yes, but we're talking specifically about the Bears.
Yeah.
So the question the Bears have is if we believe that the NFC is more gettable right now. Obviously, Aaron Rodgers is out of the division. Green Bay theoretically is going to take a step backwards. Detroit's taking a step forwards, but you don't know how big of a step that step is going to be. You look at Minnesota, who won a lot of close games last year and may have some luck debt that has to be paid this year. That's the path to a playoff appearance, right? It's those three teams. It's Green Bay, Minnesota, and Detroit.
Correct.
If you think this trade puts you into a spot as the favorite in the NFC North, and then you look around the rest of the NFC, is there a dominant team? I mean, I think we all agree the best two teams in the NFC are the 49ers and the Eagles in some order. Neither of those teams, you look at them and go, that's a dominant team that can't be defeated. They could be, you could find a way. There's no Kansas City in the NFC. There's no Cincinnati in the NFC. There might not even be a Buffalo in the NFC.
It's light.
So that's the question if you're the Bears. Because if you do it and you have to trade draft capital, what you're also saying when you make the trade for Chris Jones is we think Justin Fields is our guy. We think he's going to make the improvements. And it means that when you're watching him play, you're like, that inaccuracy, it's gonna get better and better. Because if you don't believe that, if he's not your quarterback, you can't pay too heavy of a price here for Chris Jones because you can't afford to give up any of your draft capital.
Yes, and I still think Chris Jones is young enough, though. I mean, he's 29 years old. He's got, 5-6 really good years left in him, as long as he stays healthy, and he's done a good job with that.
He does this, but you got to keep in mind now, for perspective, this is a Bears organization that's not far removed from having Khalil Mack in the prime of his career, and the quarterback was Mitch Trubisky, and that prevented them from getting over the. And they made it to the playoffs.
The Bears are like the Jets of the NFC and quarterback luck lately. I would do it. Screw it. I would, whatever it takes. I would get Chris Jones. You can't pass. I mean, this guy's generational, man. I mean, he's. We recruited the kid. You talking about a recruiting story. I always said I'm going to write a book one day. Chris Jones doesn't just get his own chapter. He may get his own sequel.
This is when you were at Ole Miss as the recruiting coordinator for Hugh Freeze.
Boy, that's you talking about a book that should be written? That is a book that should be written.
You're sitting behind a microphone right now.
No. Absolutely. That's one of those that goes to the grave with me until I got to make sure all my homies are done coaching on that one. But he is unblockable when he wants to be unblockable. And that's just how it is. Where Aaron Donald's so good of a technician and so quick and all that stuff. He's just so big and powerful and athletic and contort his body. I mean, he can He does things bad technique wise and still makes the play. He's really good. But you know, you got to keep in mind, like Aaron Donald, his AAV is $31.7 million. So you're 33%. You're only 2/3 of what he's making, and you're the second best one. And Keenan Williams is now number 2 AAV, and he's at 24 AAV. So you're $4 million less than what he's making. And I would take Chris Jones 100 out of 100 times before I take Keenan Williams, which he's good.
Yeah, sure.
But he deserves, in my opinion, he deserves Aaron Donald money. In my opinion, like he should be getting paid $30 million a year. He's worth it, not 20. That's his value.
So if you're the Bears, what price would you be willing to pay?
Whatever it took to get him.
As long as he would sign a long-term deal.
Yeah, 100%.
Right.
Like that's got to be 0.1.
Right. Okay.
0.2 is what we're going to try to trade to get him. But it's kind of like the Jets trading for Aaron Rodgers. What do we got to do to get it done?
So we're a couple weeks away. If you're the Chiefs, how big of a distraction is this becoming for the Super Bowl champs?
None. They're professionals, man. The game, and Andy Reid said it, and I believe him. The game will move on. They're still going to line somebody up there, a professional defensive lineman that's going to line up and play. People move on. You'll go play. They're not going. I mean, and he doesn't care. I mean, the Chiefs. To be honest with you, if you say he's going to come back week 8, hell, it may work out best for him. He's going to be fresh and ready to go for the playoff run, whatever it is. They're going to be able to win without him.
But if you're the Bears, and I think the Eagles have been mentioned. Who was the other? It was the Bears, the Eagles, and another team were listed as kind of candidates for this. It was another NFC team. If you're one of those teams, you need to get this done soon because you want to get him into your facility and get him acclimated to your defense and make sure that he's ready to go by week 2, week 3, because you want him to play.
Just think about this. He's so hell-bent on it. Every single week he sits is $1.1 million he's losing out on that check.
Yeah.
That's some coin.
But you're really rolling the dice if you don't extend your deal and make another big signing bonus and all that stuff playing on the last year of a contract.
Yeah, I wouldn't do it if I was him. I would try to get it reworked, but I'm excited for it. All right. Swamp Kings. You watch any of it?
I have watched some of it.
All right. So yesterday, I had not watched it the day it came out. And so we were talking about it in the office, and a lot of people, I'm not watching this, I'm not doing that because of this and that and this and that, and get a lot of bad reviews, a lot of bad reviews on social media. But as you know, I could give two shits what everybody thinks. So I went and watched it last night. I watched it from start to finish. I started about, 8:30, 9 o'clock, and I stayed up late and watched it. I liked it. I was a fan of it. Now, there's some things, a couple things here. One is you could not do even remotely what Urban Meyer's doing at Florida in today's environment. The portal would be so full so fast you wouldn't know what happened. I mean, the kids would be quitting in a heartbeat. So the one thing, and I was like, even I, how I'm old school a little bit or a lot of bit. Well, even one thing I was like, damn, is so everybody does mat drills, right? I love mat drills. I think they're awesome. But they had a deal on a mat drill where you partnered up with somebody, and somebody you couldn't allow. So if it was me and you going, okay, and they would say, okay, your job is to get off the mat, and my job is to prevent you from getting off the mat. And it was like a competition where they're wrestling and stuff, trying to get off the mat, and the other one's trying to keep them. Neal, they were over there. They were like choking people out. And like there was a shot of a guy that actually got choked out, and he was out, like UFC choked out. And he was out, and they had to go like slap him to wake him up and stuff. I mean, so I was like, oh, like you go straight to jail for that these days. Here was the thing that as a coach, this is the thing from this story that I took from it. I was like, oh, I don't know about that. Is how in the hell did the coaches allow the cameras that kind of access that long ago? And we're talking something that's 15, 16 years, 18 years ago.
2008.
Yeah. But even some of this footage was being shot in 2005 when he was there.
Yeah.
And they're like in moments where cameras aren't allowed.
Yeah.
One is, why in the hell would you allow a camera get that close and hear you say some of the things you were saying and doing some of the things you were doing? And then B is, who the hell released it? Like, you know what I mean? Like, who's been holding on to that footage for 18 years?
Yeah.
Like that was wild a little bit. And I was like, ooh, I don't know about all that. I wouldn't allow, like, you don't allow cameras in those kind of moments. Like, never been anywhere where that was allowed.
Yeah, it was a level of locker room access that
Is unprecedented,
I don't-
especially at that time.
I don't know that.
You can't do it now, much less
Well, no.
18 years ago.
There's a lot more. Well, it would never happen now. There's a lot more there was more, but it was more media during when everybody knew cameras were in the locker room. You know what I mean? But it wasn't like the moments right before a team takes a field, the moments in the immediate aftermath of a game, those kinds of things. Those are shots you really don't see anymore.
Yeah. So that was that. And then here's the thing. There was a lot of social media that I saw that was really criticizing it as a pump up piece for Urban. I didn't see it like that. I watched the whole thing. I kind of saw it as, yeah, there were moments you could watch if you watched the previews and he was like, oh, this is gonna be great. But there were moments where the players, I mean, he had interviewed players and like, I'd never let my kids do that. You know, or I didn't like, I mean, some people didn't even like Urban that were being interviewed. And so it wasn't a gushy piece, but here was the big reason I want to talk about it. And because it's in the media a lot right now about players getting arrested and players getting in trouble. It's been going on all summer. It's that time of the year. And we talked about it, I don't know, 3 or 4 weeks ago with the Georgia thing about how the media writes articles, fans get on it, and they want answers and they want the kids punished. And if you're not punishing them and publicly persecuting the players, then you're not doing your job and you're promoting a culture of, you know, bad behavior, whatever, right? And so there was a moment in episode 3, and I encourage every single person listening to this voice right now, go watch episode 3 of the Swamp King. I guess that's what it's called, Swamp Kings. And this is the coach's mentality when it comes to punishing players. He talks about it, and when you hear stories about this, and I've been on a staff that this happened before. When you go to punish a player, you go to dismiss a player from your team, 99.9% of the time, you are his only structure in life. You're his only chance as a coach or as a football program. You're their only chance to succeed in society. You're the only one that's going to teach them right from wrong. You're the only one that's going to hold them accountable for their actions. And you're the only one that's going to give them the structure to become a productive citizen in society. You're the only one. And people get in trouble and like, you need to kick him off the team, Where he tells a story. His first year at Florida, he kicked a kid off the team. He said it was a good kid. Should have never done it. He kicks the kid off the team, and a year later he gets a phone call, and the kid died of a drug overdose because he took his football away from him. And as fans, there's a lot of people listening to this that don't even remember that story because as fans, it goes in one area after other. It may be a hot topic for a week or so, but for the coach, whether you like Urban Meyer or you don't like Urban Meyer has to live with that guilt for the rest of his life that he could have helped that kid. And we're talking about football, you know what I mean? Like it's a game.
Yeah.
It's not like, and so, you know, I have guilt. Now, nobody died, but I have guilt. I dismissed a player. This is probably 2009. I think it was 2009. Dismissed a player for doing drugs 3 times, 3 strikes, and I was pissed, you know, and let him go.
This was at Arkansas State?
Arkansas State.
Okay.
And the kid had nowhere else to go, went back home, ran the streets, and about 9 months after that was arrested for armed robbery. And he was arrested they were robbing a drug rep going into CVS's and stuff to get pills to sell them. And everybody's like, initial thoughts on that. People are like, oh, he's a turd anyway. Screw that guy. Well, he wasn't a bad kid. He just was with the wrong people. He needed to, and you know, when you recruit kids, like you don't recruit bad people. There's a difference that people that get with the wrong crowd make mistakes versus people who are just bad people. You don't recruit the bad people, but if you think you can help them become productive people in society, you do that. That's what coaches do. And so that's why I'm always personally, when it comes to attacking, you know, coaches and programs about dismissing players, that's why I am the way I am. I believe that it's a coach's responsibility to not only teach them football, but teach them life and, you know, try to help them become productive citizens. But I think about that kid. I'm not going to say his name, but I think about him literally. I mean, this is we're 13 years later. I mean, I think about him probably every 2 weeks, and I have to live with that guilt that could I have helped save that kid? I think I could have. And that That bothers me. And I think that's why kids are the way that, that's why coaches are the way they are. All right, enough of that heavy shit, Neal.
Yes, sir. That was pretty heavy.
I know, but it's
true.
It's from the heart, man.
Yeah,
It needs
sure.
to be said, and it's important to me that people know that. All right. Do you know what time it is, Neal?
It is the final preseason make it rain before we start the competition that I lose.
It is time for Make It Rain Thursday, where we will go off for all you new people. We will go off. Holy shit. Can I say something before we get started? Grind, where the hell have you been? Grind shows up 3 episodes into our new show, and he didn't want to show up and hang out with us the first 2 shows. Now he's going to show up for Make It Rain Thursday. Grind, welcome. How you doing, brother?
Better late than never.
Better late than never. Love you. Missed you, Grind. All right.
Yeah, Grind gets a break. Come on. Grind gets a pass.
All right. I was missing.
He gets graded on a different curve.
I was looking for him for like two days. All right. So for all you new people, on Make It Rain Thursday, we will go through the bets. Starting next week, we'll have our competition. We'll agree on a punishment at some point in time next week. And we'll go by units. And so we're going to start this off week 0, Make It Rain. I will start going first, Neal, and then you can join in. There's not many games to pick from. So my first pick of the 2023 week 0 is the Navy midshipmen are traveling to Dublin, Ireland. They're taking on the Notre Dame Fighting Irish.
Yes.
Neal, Notre Dame is favored by 20.5 points. But that's not where I'm going with this.
Oh.
I have already placed my wager on the under.
Oh.
I'm taking the under at 50.5.
Okay.
I'm gambling that the Navy midshipmen will run the freaking triple and run the hell out of the clock with the new clock rules. I'm taking the Navy midshipmen Notre Dame under at 50.5.
Oh, okay.
All right, go ahead.
I'm going to New Mexico State. They entertain UMass.
Oh, be a lot of Auburn people watching the UMass game. That's who they play next week.
Well, they'll
They'll
win.
be very excited.
They'll win. And not only will they win, they will defeat an already defeated team. New Mexico State. I'll take the Aggies. I'll lay the 6.5. I think UMass will be one of the worst teams in all of college football.
Wow. Are they going 133 out of 133?
In that ballpark.
Somewhere in that,
Yeah.
in that range?
Yeah. Give or take one.
Kind of like Alabama was in penalties last year, DFL.
Yeah.
But they get helped all the time. All right.
So New Mexico State minus 6.5.
Okay. Minus 6.5. I got to write that down. So my man get our graphic out. All right. My second game, Neal. The hometown boys. The Jacksonville State Gamecocks.
Oh, yeah. I like this one, too.
They're at home. They're hosting UTEP. Jacksonville State is getting 1 point.
Yep.
So it's basically a pick 'em.
Yeah.
I am taking, and you already know, I'm riding or dying with my guy, Rich Rod.
Yeah.
I'm taking the Jacksonville State Gamecocks +1. And here's how I figure. If they can't slow UTEP down on offense, Rich Rod's going to pull out his burner gun, and he's going to shoot them in the face, and the Gamecocks are going to win. Gamecocks will destroy UTEP at home Saturday afternoon.
All right. I'm going out west again for my second game. I'm going to San Jose State at USC. Caleb Williams, Lincoln Riley, and the guys. It's a new defense. They're going to have something to prove. They're going to want to put up a show. They're going to want to show people that they've arrived. I think they hold San Jose to a very low number, and then Caleb and the guys do what Caleb and the guys do. I'll take USC, and even though it's a lot of points, 30.5, I'll lay them.
Oh, wow. Neal, I'm also picking the San Jose State USC game.
Okay.
However,
So good news for all you San Jose State fans. You're covering.
however,
Yeah.
I feel extremely confident
Okay.
that the San Jose State Spartans, who we saw in the famous Idaho Potato Bowl
Oh, we
last
did
year,
see them in
Yes.
Boise. They were there.
they were there.
Yeah.
And
It was too cold after a while. I didn't notice. I couldn't
While
tell
you
you.
were-
I
while
couldn't
you-
tell you who was there.
While you were shaking from hypothermia, I was actually watching the game. And they lost to our Eastern Michigan Eagles back then. So, but it's a new year. I'm taking San Jose State plus 30.5 to cover very easily.
Oh, okay.
Clock rules, too many points. San Jose State will score at least 14. It's too many points in the clock rule. I'm going San Jose State plus 30.5, too many points.
All right. I'm going to Nashville next. My Vanderbilt Commodores, Clark Lee and the guys.
Your brother, you talked to him today?
Not today.
Okay. Mama cooking y'all meatloaf for Victor Meatloaf?
Yeah, I think so. I think we'll
Okay.
have some of that. Our dad turned 81 yesterday,
Really?
but I didn't see Clark there.
Gotcha.
I was there. Vanderbilt laying 17.5 against Hawaii. They're going to cover this with no problem.
Neal,
Doors minus 17.5.
book it. Is that your lock of the week?
In my 10 weekend thoughts, where I rank the SEC teams.
Where'd you put them?
Well, in the preseason, 14. Where will they be on Sunday?
Number one.
Because they'll be the only team in the SEC with the win.
They'll be at the top of the list.
They'll be the only SEC team that's not winless.
When you go to the Monday presser,
yeah,
and they hand you out that booklet of information that you throw right in the toilet.
Yeah.
Can I say, let's talk about that for a second.
All right, sure.
Do you know how many trees die
every week
across this world?
Every week.
On the books that the SIDs print out for media and coaches on Sunday?
So many trees.
A stack of papers like this thick, and it's just filled. I mean, I'm talking about like just
every note that you could possibly think
bullet points of like back in 1836, Vanderbilt hosted Hawaii in the annual bowl game, and Vanderbilt ran for 106 yards behind the 210-pound offensive line average.
The only one that I hang on to, and they've taken the good part of it out, the SEC release every week.
Okay,
used to put you get all the games that were that week, the TV, the superlatives from the week before, but then they get you the league rankings, like total offense, total defense, pass rush.
I'll look at those.
But all that's off now. It's in the what you got to go to a website. So they
don't give you those.
I don't even need it anymore. Yeah, no, they don't give you the rankings.
Look,
you'll get some individual stuff. Like I'll know like where, whoever like where.
I know what sheet you're talking about.
Yeah, like pick a wide receiver in the league. I'll know where he ranks in catches.
Right.
Or that kind of thing. But one of the things I always liked, and I'll go find it because I use it, like, Florida's getting ready to play Tennessee. Where did the Vols rank in pass defense compared to where the Gators are in pass offense? And you can kind of start seeing some mismatches and where teams are even and stuff like that. They've taken all that away. And so much of the stuff that's in the releases is stuff that you never use.
They give the coaches that still. Just find you a coach, and you can go to the local trash can and pick it out. They'll be sitting in there. All right, Neal. I am also picking the Hawaii Vanderbilt game. Neal, I don't know if you was aware of this, but Vanderbilt is 17.5-point favorites.
Yep, just heard.
You heard?
Yep.
Guess what, Neal? For the first time this year, it's not enough.
Yeah, they're going to win easy.
This is going to be a mutilation in Nashville. I think Vandy's going to make a point. I think they really get after them. I mean, I'm talking about really get after them. I'm all over this one. Vandy minus 17.5. I think that's free money, and I don't know anything about Hawaii. I think it's free money. All right, what you got?
I'm gonna go with one here because I know you will have information because you know one of the coaching staffs.
You cannot say that. Like, do you watch what's going on in Iowa right now? You can't say shit like that. We'll be subpoenaed, all right. We'll be up there hanging out with freaking our boy Matt Campbell, and we'll be hanging out with your boy.
So if a hot bet comes in on FIU Louisiana Tech,
golly,
I'll since these don't count, I'll go with the hometown team. I'll take Louisiana Tech and I'll lay the 11.5 against FIU.
Well, Neal, the FIU Panthers will be my last pick of the day. The FIU Panthers may be my last pick of all time because I may be in fucking jail. I may be in jail come Monday morning if anybody logs on to try to watch anybody tries to log on to Disrupt Media on Monday and it says McCready, sponsored by Rain Total Body Fuel. You'll know that I'm hanging out with my man Bohannon in Alabama. We'll be somewhere in a local Cincinnati casino. All right, so the FIU Panthers, captained by my good friend Mike McIntyre, are going on the road
to Ruston,
Louisiana.
Yeah, wonder where they're staying. They stay in Ruston?
Ooh, I don't know.
I bet they're staying in Shreveport.
I have not asked. Because I have not talked to anybody in Miami.
There's not a lot of places to stay.
Well, they'll find somebody.
You know what's interesting? So
it's whatever the closest full service.
Here's what's interesting. I'll tell you this funny little anecdote. Originally, my high school reunion that's this fall was going to be the weekend of October the 14th. And so I was like, oh, cool. I don't have anything that weekend. I'll go. And I go online in Ruston, all the hotels are like $500 a night. I'm like, there's not a chance in hell that I ever even consider, even think about paying $500 a night to stay at a hotel in Ruston. No chance.
Not happening.
No.
Go to Bossier, stay at the casino.
Subsequently, it was moved to a weekend that I can't go, so I'm not going. But my point is, there's not a lot of places for anybody to stay in Ruston. And like when football teams come, they like to have like,
I would imagine
they want to have like a ballroom, and they want to be able to have all that stuff. And I don't know how many of those are.
How far is it from Shreveport? Driving down 20?
64 miles.
So I imagine they would probably fly into Shreveport and stay somewhere in Shreveport and drive over.
That'd be my guess.
Yeah. All right. However, La Tech is favored by 11.5 points, Neal. Guess what? It's too much.
Oh.
I'm taking, shocker, the FIU Panthers to cover 11.5 on the road at La Tech. Look,
Okay.
I like, all kidding aside, I really like what Mike's doing down there. He is starting from ground zero. He took them from literally, they probably had the worst roster in FBS football when he took it over. And to see him transition it, and the thing I like about what he's doing is he's doing it with his eyes. He is the best. Mike McIntyre, you can call, I've worked with some dudes. Mike McIntyre is the best live evaluator I have ever been around. And he's had a bunch of camps. He sees it. I like the way he's building his team. FIU plus 11.5. I think they're going to be sneaky good in the Conference USA this year. I think he makes the bowl game.
Who's the coach at Louisiana Tech now? Is it still Sonny Cumbie?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So I'm excited about that. All right, let's finish up with this, Neal. You got any more? Yeah, you got one more.
I got to do one more.
Yep.
I won't double up. I for the record, I really like Jacksonville State plus the one. I like that one a lot.
Well, take it.
Oh, that's okay. I'll take another one. Ohio plays at San Diego State.
You don't know shit about this game.
I love the Aztecs uniforms. I'll lay 2.5 on the Aztecs against the Bobcats.
All right. It's probably a good time since we got a bunch of new people in here. Look, I'm going to remind even your old heads that are in here from last year. Give me play cautiously with your boy. I play cautious for the first couple of weeks. Let me watch him on film.
Yeah.
And then I'll start bringing it home. Because like Neal thought he had me last year.
No, I didn't.
He thought he had me. And then I came back with a raging fury. I just got to get him on film, watch him, and then I'll be good with it. I'm trying to call up can you call up the Heisman odds? I promised Irish Reb that we would do Heisman
odds.
Heisman odds. Because I have he wanted a future. So Irish Reb said he's making a trip across the state line this weekend. And so he was going to play some futures. So we'll look at let's do the Heisman futures because I want to do that the other day anyway. Go ahead.
All right. Caleb Williams. Which one do you want to use? You want to use Vegas Insider?
Yeah, it does.
Okay. Caleb Williams is plus 500.
All right. I would stay away from that because one, the odds suck. And two, they don't award back-to-back Heismans. That's just, they I don't know. They frown on that. So I'm going to say no to him.
Okay. Jaden Daniels, the LSU quarterback, is plus 1,000.
I would skip that one.
Quinn Ewers, the Texas quarterback, is plus 1,200.
I'd sprinkle a little bit on Quinn Ewers. I would say I'd sprinkle. It's not. We're getting in the value territory there.
Jordan Travis, the Florida State quarterback, also plus 1,200.
So I would like to make the proclamation in the year of our Lord 2023. The 2023 Heisman Trophy winner will be Jordan Travis.
Oh wow! There you go.
I'm all in on that one. He would be my pick to win Heisman this year. I think they're going to win enough, and he's going to put up big enough numbers to win it.
I picked Ewers in my 10 weekend thoughts, so he's got no chance. Sorry, Quinn. Cade Klubnik,
no,
is plus 1,400. Michael Penix Jr. at Washington's plus 1,600.
No chance.
Bo Nix at Oregon is plus 1,800. Drake May at North Carolina is plus 1,800.
Sprinkle Bo. He's got the money behind him.
Two more guys at 1,800. Sam Hartman plus 1,800. J.J. McCarthy at Michigan plus 1,800. Carson Beck at Georgia is plus 2,000.
It's always a solid bet if they're going to win it. They're going to be in it. He'll be in the if Stetson Bennett can get there, he can get to the finals.
Marvin Harrison Jr. is plus 3,000.
Best player in college football not named Caleb Williams.
Kyle McCord is plus 2,800. Joe Milton III at Tennessee is plus 2,500.
Now, Joe Milton, if he puts up he's going to put up big numbers, right? If they win enough, he'll be there because he's going to put up numbers.
Drew Aller, I don't even know who that is. Plus 2,500.
Yep, got me there.
Blake Corum at Michigan is plus 5,000.
It's just hard for running backs, man.
Yeah, it's impossible. Devin Brown is plus 3,300.
Derrick Henry, last running back?
I don't know. It sounds right.
Yeah, I mean, he had a 2,000-yard season. I mean, and they won. I don't know. I think it's hard.
Dylan Gabriel's plus 4,000. Connor Weigman at Texas A&M is plus 4,000. Jalen Milroe at Alabama is plus 5,000. Spencer Rattler at South Carolina is plus 5,000.
Oh.
Quinshawn Judkins, the running back at Ole Miss, is plus
6,000.
8,000. KJ Jefferson, the Arkansas quarterback, is plus 5,000. Travion Henderson is plus 8,000. Nicholas Singleton, plus 8,000. Ty Simpson's plus 8,000. Brott Bowers plus 8,000. I mean, you're getting into
Drew Aller was Penn State. Dave hit me up in the chat, said Mach 10 Sports said Drew Aller is Penn State's quarterback.
Okay. Tyler Buckner, one of the Alabama quarterbacks, is plus 10,000.
He'll be the third quarterback in the game.
DJ, I can never say his name. You know what I'm talking about. Now at Oregon State, he's plus 10,000.
Well, if you can't say it, what makes you think I'm going to be able to say it?
Jace McClellan at Alabama plus 12,000. Jackson Dart plus 15,000. Arch Manning plus 8,000.
Now you're just donating money.
Xavier Worthy plus 15,000. Tanner Mordecai plus 12,000.
I would go. I think Jordan Travis. That's my pick to win the Heisman. So he's at 12 plus 1,200, and then I would probably, if you made me I'd take a shot at somebody like Bo Nix. I don't like Michael Penix Jr. because every time I bet on Washington, he sucks, and when I don't bet on or I bet the other team, he goes off. But Bo Nix is going to make noise. They're pushing. Nike's already putting billboards up. He's got the money behind it.
I don't hate from just sprinkle some money somewhere and see what happens. I don't hate the Marvin Harrison Jr. pick.
What's that, 3,000?
Something like that.
Well, he's the best player in college football, not named Caleb Williams.
But the quarterback at Ohio State's not a huge name, right? So if he were to have a big season,
if he has a big year, the quarterback's going to have.
But they would probably, the hype would go to Harrison.
Probably. He'd have to.
And he'd have to do something in the return game and stuff like that.
Look, Amari Cooper put together probably the best wide receiver individual performance of a year, had 120-something catches. I mean, basically took over every football game we played, and he still finished second. So I think it's just hard, dude, to win. It's hard to win the Heisman Trophy as a receiver. Probably was the last receiver to win the Heisman, Desmond Howard. Is that it? I
don't know.
Probably. So it's been a minute.
If that's the case, it's been 20-something years.
Yeah, it's been a minute. But that's all I got today, boss.
I was looking for just anybody. Graham Mertz.
Plus
20,000.
Oh, that's money. I'm changing my bet.
Michael Pratt at Tulane, 25,000.
No.
Just looking to see if there's anything else interesting. JT Daniels, where's he now? West Virginia. He's 30,000.
JT Daniels? He's at Rice.
Rice. Well, he's not winning.
Can you imagine?
No.
What would he?
Luther Burden III at Missouri, 40,000.
Yeah, we're just getting
he's a good player, but he's not winning the Heisman Trophy.
We're getting into insane stuff. Oh yeah, Cole freaking. Thank
Devontae
you, Cole.
Smith.
Hello, what an idiot. Thank you, guys on the receiver stuff. Before we get out of here, I sent this to you yesterday. McCready Siskey. Common Sense Party 2024.
Okay.
In conjunction with Hand Raise Guy.
Yeah.
Our guy in Russia that tried to take over Putin.
Yeah.
All right. And he has a plane crash.
Yeah. They've already
said, have they said it to shot down yet?
American intelligence indicates that it was either an explosive on board or that it was shot down.
Okay. All right. So if I'm a couple things here. Just this thing just is I want to go come on, man. All right. The second that he said, you know what, I got this idea, boys. We're out here in Ukraine and we're fighting for Russia, but I don't like what's going on back there. So we're going to turn our forces around and go attack Moscow. At that point, if I was his friend, I'd say, hey, excuse me, sir. Excuse me. You do realize the second we turn this thing around, we're going to all be dead. It's just a matter if it's going to be today or sometime in the very near future.
Yeah.
Apparently that wasn't said to him. And then when you get to the truce, right? You get to the truce and he goes, hey, as long as you turn around, I'm going to let you just go live off in another country peacefully till the end of your days. I'd be like, hey, excuse me, sir. Excuse me, sir. Can we finish what we came here for? Like, wasn't going to happen. That's the least shocked I've ever been in my life. Like yesterday, 2 months to the day of him going to trying to overthrow Putin, his plane crashed. And how can you, as a responsible journalist, call it a plane crash? Like, when does it? Somebody brought this up in your thread. I started dying. I was like, hey, I guess you're right. You can't call it a crash if it's hit by a missile. Doesn't that kind of take the word crash out?
Well, it did crash to the ground.
I mean,
it did.
Didn't that kind of eliminate that?
There was a certain thing that happened before the crash, but it technically crashed.
Like common sense, man. Like, what are we doing? Like, what are we doing? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, there's people on the earth that you don't want to cross. Vladimir Putin's one of those people.
Man. Like, hey, I mean, just you gotta. I mean, I almost said it. I didn't say it. I went a whole week this week. I almost said F around and find out, but I didn't say it.
Yeah.
Because I have made it 3 shows, Mom.
I think you did one today.
No, I did not.
You did not?
No.
Oh, they would have told you. I could have sworn you dropped one.
No way. There's no way I said the F word. I've been trying so hard.
It's your best behavior in a week ever.
And by the way, I'm Red Dragon today.
I know.
Red Dragon. And I made it the whole week without saying the F-bomb. Can you believe that?
I'm very proud of you.
I can't make any promises past because we got like real football to talk about next week. I can't make any promises moving forward.
You're pretty geeked up about real football next week?
I am. I'm geeked up about this weekend. I like watching football where something is on the line. I do.
Yeah.
Watching that Swamp Kings got me because that was how. Again, sorry for all you new softies that, get upset when you have to run for, punishment. But that, for me, that's how, like, it's not free to play football. You know what I mean? Like, you have to work for it. That's how it's supposed to be done, man. It was good. It was good stuff.
I've been multiple people in the stream confirm that you did slip one slip.
Did I really?
Yeah, you did. You did.
I'm so disappointed in myself. Did I really, though?
Just one, though.
I'm really low-key disappointed in myself. I tried so hard, Neal.
I mean, you almost got there. You almost got to the end.
Sorry. I tried. Just don't clip it, please. I mean, my mom's already going to rip my ass. I don't need any help.
She's going to be upset.
Yeah. All right. That's all I got.
All right. We will wrap it up for the week. We'll be back next week. It'll be Monday. We'll get you ready start getting you ready for week 1 in the college football season. Everybody getting started all over the SEC. Vanderbilt playing on Saturday, but the other 13 get rolling next weekend. So we'll talk to you about those games starting next week and catch up on what happened over the weekend and lots more here on McCready and Siskey, powered by Rain Total Body Fuel. Don't forget, if you are out and about, need to pick me up, get you some Rain. 300 milligrams of natural caffeine, BCAAs, electrolytes, zero sugar. It's got what you need to push the limits and achieve your goals. Check them out on Instagram at Rain Body Fuel. To learn more, for Tyler Siskey, I'm Neal McCready. Have a great weekend. Take care.